What up, everybody? We are back with another standard video, and of course, once it becomes a relevant force in the format again, I gotta be playing it. This week, we're playing Mono Red. Now, this version of Mono Red is pretty similar to basically every other version that you've seen me play on the channel, and you can watch the various permutations just by going back. But this version is really trying to prey on the Is It Lessons deck that is taking over standard right now. So let's talk about the deck, see how it does in a couple of games, and then we'll do everything that we normally do. So let's start off with one of the big Punisher cards in this deck, and that is Razorkin Needlehead. Now, for those of you that paid attention to the World Championship about a week, 2 weeks ago, you'll notice that the Is It Lessons deck really has a couple of different flavors. This one wants to prey on the Monument to Endurance Artist Talent version, which is really popular on Magic Online and on the Arena ladder right now, and that draws a lot of cards. So, back from the VV days is Razorkin Needlehead. Alright, it's a 2-2, has first strike on your turn, and whenever an opponent draws a card, this creature deals a damage to him. Now, thinking about the different versions of Mono Red that exists, there is a version that plays O'Hare Axonil that would turn every ping of Razorkin Needlehead into a 4 damage hit. But you'll note, there is no O'Hare in this version. In fact, we only have one legendary creature in this version of the deck. So Razorkin Needlehead is here to punish our opponents, but it's not punishing them as hard. It's not really the big 1-2 punch that O'Hare has. We're also running a couple mainboard copies of Magebane Lizard. This is some tech that existed back in the, like, Is It Cutter days of Standard. It's got a really thick body, so it can withstand a lot of attacks. It deals damage to your opponent based on the number of spells that they cast in a turn. So if your Is It Lessons opponent doesn't have a combustion technique or an Iroh's demonstration, this card's at least dealing 3 damage to them with 2 removal spells that they're trying to cast to get rid of it. So, can't say that I hate it. And obviously, since this is an Avatar deck, we are running a couple copies of Iroh's Demonstration. This card will be relevant more often than not, just because if you're playing in an Is It dominant meta, just being able to Wrath everything your opponents have for 2 mana and basically take out everything except for a Grand, it's pretty solid. Now, as far as other unique cards that this version is running, this is very similar to Quintanoli's version. Couple copies of Full Bore. Obviously, once you get up to max speed, this turns your Burnout Bastronaut into an 8-8 beater, so that's pretty huge. We're also running a singleton copy of Kellen Planner Trailblazer. Now, the card's realistically here as a card advantage spell. You get to impulse draw some stuff when you pump Kellen up one time. It serves a very similar function to stuff like Tursa Light Shatter or The Legend of Roku. So keep that in mind. We're running a couple copies of Shock because in the previous O'Hare build of this deck, this would have been a 4 damage spell. But really, if you're just trying to stay low to the ground and focus on killing Grands and other Is It creatures, it does a really good job for that. Plus, late game, 2 damage to the face, just putting extra pressure on your opponents, getting some extra prowess triggers here with Emberheart, not necessarily a bad thing. 4 copies of Bastronaut, 4 copies of Burst Lightning, 4 copies of Hired Claw, 4 copies of Lightning Strike, 4 Emberheart Challengers, 4 Nova Hellkite, a Partridge in a Pear Tree. What else would you expect from this mono red deck? 23 lands, 4 Rock Face, 2 Soulstone Sanctuary. Some people have started cutting this from their list because it is a little bit of a liability. It doesn't let you cast any of your non-creature spells, but it's a decent threat late in the game. You can turn it into something on turn 4 realistically, and it's relevant. It's got some stuff that it'll do. Sideboard is where things get interesting. 3 copies of Soul Guide Lantern to deal with the Soul Tide deck that's popping up. Spider-Man is a problem. Alright, Hazaret Godseeker. This is an interesting one because it basically gets around all of the problems that the Lessons deck presents to you. It's an extra speed builder, and it's a 5-3 body. once you get to max speed. It's really solid there, and it triggers your Emberheart Challenger for 1 mana, which isn't bad, but there's a lot that can go wrong with this card, but there's so much that can go right. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag. Extra Iroh's Demonstration, deal with 4 toughness creatures or just a Wrath aboard. Couple more Magebane Lizards to just punish the decks that are going to be casting so many spells. Vengeful Possession basically for the Golgari decks, the Simic decks, that way you can steal their biggest card, use it against them. Hopefully you're in a good spot by that point. 4 copies of Sunspine Links because the mana bases in Standard have gotten extremely greedy, so we need to punish them a little bit. This is basically a prison deck without any lock pieces at this point. And a singleton copy of The Legend of Roku, just in case we end up playing against Control. It is seeing a weird uptick right now, both in Jeskai and 5-color versions. So just be aware of that. You're definitely going to want a Control plan, and this is the minimum that we can do. Alright, it's got a bunch of different chapters, but on the back it turns into a 4/4 with Firebending 4 that makes extra dragons that have Firebending 4. Like, that is the best endgame piece that you want for a Control matchup. But that's everything, y'all. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and go ahead, demonstrate your fire-breathing technique on that subscribe button. Burn it down. But I'll see you guys in match number 1. Alright, match number 1, we get to be on the play, which is sick. This is a 1-2 curve. We can absolutely keep it. Alright, let's see what our opponent's going to do. Hopefully they end up mulliganing a little bit. This deck does so much better when our opponents mulligan aggressively. Alright, they did mull down to 6. So start with a Bastronaut. Remember the trigger in paper so that you get your first speed. And our opponent's playing a black deck. Okay, they're playing Vine Lasher, which could be a couple of different things. It could be the Earthbending combo deck, or it could just straight up be a mono black sack deck that just has that as a backup plan. Who knows? But bashing through, and opponent plays Realm of Ko. We draw an Iroh's Demonstration. I mean, let's just go ahead and swing. Now, I like to go ahead and pump that there, but I think it's probably best for us not to. Let's play this Razorkin Needlehead and say go. Opponent's going to take a damage. And they're tapping to do what? Weirdly enough, they're not tapping the Realm of Ko. Oh, no, they are. Oh, you're just going for a slasher? I mean... So, there's a couple of things that we can do here. We can either kill that slasher, and I think it's honestly better for us to just swing and shoot them in the face for 1. We will pump this up 1 and then see if they will block. Opponent doesn't block. We might be so cooked. There's just a really weird chance that they go and slam a Bloodletter here and we die. Oh my god, they're slamming Bloodletter and we die. No! We got beat by the combo. No! Oh, that's so bad. Ah, we should have killed it. Okay, okay. Didn't expect Mono Black Demons combo. I thought it was just going to be something a little different. Yikes, man. Okay. So, this deck does not care about Magebane Lizard at all. Alright, I think we want to bring in maybe this Legend of Roku, or no, it's actually the Vengeful Possession. The Vengeful Possession is probably the better card for us to have here. As cool as Hazoret Godseeker is, they in mono black are definitely playing Tragic Trajectory, so we don't want to have that. So I think just make this minimal change and maybe bring in an extra demonstration just to get rid of something. We'll drop the shock for it and run it just like that. Alright, let's go ahead and see what this hand is like. It's so close, but we can't keep it. This hand will have to do. Put back a mountain and play this. Say go. The one way that that hand could have gone bad, and it did in fact go that badly. Alright, let's go ahead and just play this Hired Claw, and we will kill this Vine Lasher. We could have maybe have just killed it on the end step and swung through for 2. But that was really, really good for us to avoid that. Alright. So, attack through for 2. Alright. Opponent plays a Sunset Saboteur. That's not great. Alright, so let's start by doing this. And let's see what our opponent does. They're obviously going to hit us for 4. If they Tragic Trajectory, okay, Intimidation Tactics isn't that bad. Alright, you got the Slasher. Did not attack, okay. Well, I suppose then that we will just do that. Opponent's thing dies. Swing through with this. And I mean, we are dealing 2 here, which isn't bad. Opponent's probably trying to think about if they can block this or not. They can't. So, yeah, I think we're fine. What's really good about this mono black deck is it is just so simple. Just Unstoppable Slasher, Bloodletter. You play maybe a few other things to fill in the curve, but it's those 2 creatures and then just a bunch of swamps, like 24, and you've got a great deck. It was a deck that I loved for so long, and I'm glad that it's seeing play again. Just can't believe we got by it in game number 1. Alright, so opponent took it. They're taking a damage. They've got land and Raven Eagle. Okay. Raven Eagle is solid. Drawing another card, taking some damage. Okay, swinging through, putting a counter on my Razorkin. Well, now we definitely just put this other one here. And we swing. Okay, opponent's taking 2. Okay. Exile a card from a graveyard. You exile your Vine Lasher. Make a clue. Now you're tapping a bunch, playing another Slasher. Drawing some cards. Okay. Kellen's an interesting draw here. So Kellen's at least a blocker for an unstoppable slasher if they have the nuts. Let's go ahead and just kill this one. Okay. And now we swing for 5. Probably blocking with a Saboteur. That's reasonable. Take 2. Take 2 more. Alright, you got 2 cards in hand. There's a Grim Bobble. Probably bobbling away a Kellen. And if you've got... Oh. You bobbled that away. Okay. Okay. Drawing a card. Losing some life. You gain some life. I mean... Another one? Goodness. Okay. That's actually super fortunate for us here. Okay, let's take this. And I think our opponent's just going to scoop it up to that. Let's go. All right. So, sideboarding. I think we're just going to keep everything the same. As cool as Hazoret is, I don't think this is a matchup for it. And, yeah. I think we're just running it back. Okay. So, we got them all that hand. And we can keep this one. I think the card for us to put back is probably this Full Bore. As cool as it would be to trigger Valiant here, I think just having removal should be prioritized. Alright, opponent plays a land, plays a Intimidation Tactics. They're going to see our hand, probably take a Razorkin. Yeah. Alright, play that, and say go. Now, if they go for the... Oh, they don't go for the Cleric here. Interesting. Alright. I personally say that we should go for the Emberheart here. That way we can just lure out some removal. They know that we drew a Mountain for turn, and that's fine. Alright, Raven Eagle is okay. They're going to exile their Intimidation Tactics and effectively do nothing. We are going to cast our Razorkin Needlehead and swing. They're not going to block this. This would be so silly to block. Okay. Opponent's going to draw a card, lose a life. If we hit a land, we can at least kill this Raven Eagle next turn. We're absolutely going to exile that. And Tragic Trajectory, something left the battlefield, so they get to do that. The removal. Okay. We need a land. Land we got. Alright, sick. So let's red, colorless, red, warp in this Nova Hellkite, deal a damage there, and then we will cast this, kill that. Don't want you getting any more advantage. And we're swinging through for 4 unencumbered. Now, opponent can just hit land and play their thing, or they can go for the Unstoppable Slasher. It's really good. Okay, the most fortunate draw for us. Another one. And then here's that. Okay, declare attackers, swing for 4. You are much closer to dying. We need an extra land now. Oh, there's a bloodletter. Ooh. Okay. Oh, it's tempting now. So I think we need to... Okay. We're going to pass. We're going to activate this Soul Stone on their end step. And hopefully, we can get them with this Vengeful Possession line. Oh, no. Okay. Okay. We might be a little cooked. What's opponent doing? They're bitter triumphing. Oh, no. Okay, okay. Oh, that's so rough. That's incredibly rough. We're so freaking dead now. Okay. Yeah, that line absolutely killed us. I can't believe it. We are dead. We are super dead. Yeah, we'll discard that. Would have been nice. Would have been nice. Because this would have hit our opponent for 4. Yeah. We were super close there. GG's opponent. See you guys in match number 2. Alright, match number 2. We get to be on the play. With a fairly okay hand, honestly. Hopefully this time we're not dying to OTKs. We get to go turn 1 Bastronaut into turn 2 one of our other creatures, depending on what they're playing. If there isn't, then we're slamming this Lizard. If they are anything else, probably slamming the Emberheart Challenger. Okay. So, Bastronaut comes down, and we pass. Opponent plays Bleachbone Verge and a Snarling Gorehound. This is about to be the most useless card in existence. Alright. Throw this down. Run both of these into our opponent's face. Yeah, they're only playing creatures in this Bleachbone Verge deck. Alright, and another Gorehound. Iroh's Demonstration off the top would be crazy right now. Infestation Sage. Are you going to swing at us for 1? No? Okay. Well, let's play this. We will swing, and we'll kill one of these just to guarantee that our stuff is getting through. Okay. In combat, we're going to go ahead and just play this Magebane Lizard out. It's a good blocker. If they decide to play something like Sephiroth, then I know we're just winning next turn. Because we can just Lightning Strike the Sephiroth. Voice of Victory. Nice. They've been a Sephiroth. Nice. Alright, well, Gonna go ahead, kill that. Oh no, we take a damage. I'm actually just, again, super okay with this. There's no shot that our opponent just kills our stuff here. And yeah, block that. Take 2. Surveil. We can basically guarantee that our Bastronauts are gonna get through. Cool. Another one. Alright. Opponent scoops it up. They see what's coming. Neat. Alrighty, so we are playing against a low to the ground creature deck. So Agro's demonstration comes in, for sure. These Magebane lizards probably coming out. Now, the real question, do we want to bring in the Soul Guide Lanterns? Alright, Soul Guide Lantern and Sunspine Links are looking like the most likely cards to bring in here, if only because they're gonna end up trying to gain some life. They're going to be trying to use their graveyard. And those are definitely things that we want to not have happen. So it's like we can bring out the Magebanes and the Needleheads just to bring in these Lynxes as guaranteed punishing their mana base. In maybe like a copy or 2 copies of Lantern, just because we know that they are likely running the Raise the Past package. And I guess we can take out either a Full Bore or a Shock. Both of those are kind of meh. Shock's really bad because it just lets them, okay, one creature died, a lot of their creatures replace themselves. So I think we can run it like this and be kind of happy. Maybe we can cut these Soul Guide Lanterns on the play. And that's one of the things about Mono Red. There's so much like sideboarding technicality that you need to be aware of. Like there's a lot of play draw that matters with your sideboarding decisions. And I think that's one of the things that makes people not necessarily look at this deck with any real seriousness. Speaking of any real seriousness, we seriously cannot keep that hand. Alright. This hand looks a lot better, actually. We're going to keep it. But the question is, what do we want to put back? And oddly enough, I do think it's the Soul Guide Lantern. As cool as that sideboard piece is, there's a lot of logic to just getting rid of it here. So our opponent is going to go Surveil Land on 1. We want to have all of our mana at least through turn 3 or 4 so we can guarantee Nova Hellkite on 3 to kill something. And Agro's Demonstration is just a extremely versatile card. Alright, so we play the Bastronaut. And our opponent kept a card on top, which I think is interesting. The arena animation always really just needs to be here for the speed thing. Just every single time. I do it in paper, which I know just has to be annoying for all of my opponents. Yeah, and here's the problem. All of our stuff just... it kills one thing on their board every single time. Alright, so... we're going to go ahead and just play this other mountain and swing. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pump this. Is it better to just save it so we can Burst Lightning something that they play on 3? Probably. Okay. So they play Servandum. Another... Okay. So now we are in a really cool spot. So, kill this. And I would like to just go ahead and swing here. Again, this is the problem. This is the problem. Because they're going to block with no block. No block from the opponent. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Gorehound. Another one. Another Servandum. Interesting. Okay. So now we're in a rough spot. Because if we don't kill this, they're going to gain a ridiculous amount of life. Okay, I do think we have to go ahead and just kill this Servandum here. Like, we can't let that stay on the battlefield for any length of time. If we swing into this board, everything that we have will die. And everything that they have will die. I think we're just going to let it go. One more turn. One more turn is all we need. Alright. I think it really now depends on who's going to hit their fourth land. Because if I hit my fourth land, I've got options in terms of Sunspine Lynx and Nova Hellkite and Full Bore. If they hit their fourth land, they've got Raise the Past. They've got Sothera. They've got a couple of options as well. Oh, our opponent lost connection to the game, so let's see how long it takes for them to come back. Oh, alright, they came back. Only took like 3 minutes. Not bad, not bad. Magic Online just be doing that sometimes, making things hard for people. Alright, so let's see what they are about to do on this turn. Okay. They have another Servandum. Are you kidding me? Alright. So they've been to Get Lost. Probably going to swing in for at least 2. Yeah. That's to be expected. Oh my god, another Full Bore does insane stuff for us right here. Alright, well, I think we're going to just warp this in. They're going to get to gain a life, unfortunately, but we can stop them from at least rummaging through their deck. We'll swing in with this Nova Hellkite. This other Full Bore could go crazy as long as they don't have blockers, but they're always going to have blockers. Alright. Let's go, opponent. If you got it, you got it. God, this should just be like if something left the battlefield this turn, it gets, like, trample. This should just be Monstrous Rage, but slightly different. Okay. There goes our creature. I mean, they get to start swinging. I don't think there's a world where they don't just start swinging in violently at this point. Alright. Yeah, we can't really not attack at this point. We just have to keep going. We don't want to pump up their thing anymore. Yeah, opponent's at 9. We're both still stuck on 3 lands, which is insane. Oh god, Umbral Collar Zealot's gonna be so good, because then that's just 4 extra triggers. You pump up Vondam a bunch. Cool. I don't think we're winning in this spot. I truly don't. We stop you from gaining life, which is rad, but yeah, I don't think we are winning the way that we want to at this point. Vigilance and menace. So it's just we're never going to be able to block. That's 3, 5, 8 we're taking. Yeah, we're taking lethal damage here. Vengeful Blood Witch, okay, yeah. We lost to not drawing the rest of our lands, and our opponent just got enough time. That's brutal. Okay. So, I think everything is fine. We maybe bring in this shock. And there's now an argument for Vengeful Possession being fine, I think. But I don't know. Honestly, Hazoret Godseeker seems cool. Just guarantees us a really solid blocker. We got options, I suppose. Okay. Yeah, let's run it like this. We'll have the one Hazoret. Like, Razorkin Needlehead would be okay, but I think Hazoret's just a little bit better since it's lower to the ground. Alright, we're going to be on the play. Hand does everything we want it to. So we'll run it like this, and... Alright. Burnout. New. Alright, opponent plays a Shadowy Backstreet, bins a Sothera. Wow. So as long as we hit another land drop sometime soon, the Sunspine Links can go pretty crazy too. Alright, hit our opponent for 3. Tapping 2 to play what? Infestation Sage. Which is the bigger problem for us? I mean, it's probably... Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's force the opponent to have to block stuff, oddly. Because you're going to have 2 2/2s swinging in, and a 1/1 with Menace. If we can make them block oddly and have both of these creatures die, then this Iroh's Demonstration feels really good. So, okay. They're throwing both of them in front of the Burnout Bastronaut. I think the better one to get rid of is just the Infestation Sage, maybe? Because it makes a flying blocker, and we can at least get rid of that with our Nova Hellkite next turn. Alright, there's another Nesting Bot. There's another Infestation Sage. Are they stuck on 2 lands? They are. Okay. I mean, now I just want to swing and make them block everything weird. Okay, we're up at max speed. Block, block, block. Jeez. Okay. Block all of that. And then we will kill this. And all of that's gone. We'll kill those. Alright. Opponent is at 8. As long as you don't play Servandum. Oh, buddy. Alright. This Iroh's demonstration is going to absolutely ruin you. Alright. Actually, hold up. Let's do this the right way. Kill that first. Because I don't want you to get all of these triggers. Alright. I'm glad we saw that before we started casting things. Okay, so we take 1, they gain 1. And now, Iroh's demonstration dealing 1 damage to all of our opponent's creatures. Alright, getting hit for 4. Can our opponent recover? They cannot. We got there. Alright, see you guys in match number 3. Alright, match number 3. We get to be on the play. And yeah, this hand's dope. We're going to start with the Hired Claw here instead of the Bastronaut, if only because this at least gives us the ability to go speed 1, speed 2, just immediately shifting gears. Alright, Swarm Lord. Definitely a little fearful about that name, and they're playing something Boros? Okay. Alright, speed up. And, yeah. Burst Lightning and Lightning Strike here will definitely do work. They're Jeskai, okay? I mean, truth be told, I probably just want to swing and hope that that's enough. Alright, trigger that. Let's just pump this. Alright, opponent's at 14. I mean, I'm waiting for the Lightning Helix. Stock up. Okay. Well, let's look at this. Alright, so they're stocking up. We knock them down to 12. This is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, we'll do this. Hit you to 12. Alright, if we can go and get a land here. Okay. So, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, I'm actually cool just warping this in. Because that means that they have to... If they just Lightning Helix away one of these things, then if we hit an untapped land, which all of our lands are untapped, we double Lightning Strike and win. If they don't kill the Hired Claw, we attack, we get the activation, win. Okay, opponent scooped it up. Sick. So, they are the 4-color control deck. Let's bring in these Magebane Lizards. These Iroh's demonstrations are terrible. We need these Sunspine Lynxes to punish their mana, and so now it's like Iroh's demonstration looks really good. Full bore is probably not great here, and these shocks are probably not good either because they are a very good late game thing, but I don't know if they're great outside of that. And there's definitely an argument that Magebane Lizard is too slow. They're not casting so many spells in a single turn. So maybe these two Magebanes that we're adding aren't that great on the play or on the draw. And so maybe we can just cut all of them for Hazoret, Legend of Roku, and a shock, maybe? Like, there's some logic to just being a little slower on the draw, a little bit more aggressive on the play, because they're bringing in a lot of low to the ground stuff to just wipe our board away. So, okay, I'm talking myself into it. They're bringing in board wipes for sure. So, yeah. Drop all of those, bring in a shock, and then on the play, it's just all the Magebanes. All the Magebanes. And run it. Alright. And we can mull this hand. This is, again, the biggest problem with this mono red deck is just figuring out how to sideboard, knowing when to bring things in, when to bring things out. And it feels like it's so much easier in open decklist tournaments versus these leagues, closed decklist tournaments, RCQs, just everything else. Sideboarding is a valuable skill, and mono red really does test that. So our mull to 6 wasn't the greatest just because it was 4 lands and a Sunspine Lynx. We're not putting a lot of pressure on them, but we're also not really... Oh my god, another land. Alright. Come on, opponent. Do the thing. They've been to consult off of their opening. Okay, they're just going to stock up here. We're going to go ahead and just ding them for 3. I would love to hit a non-land spell here. Some non-land spell that just contributes to the board. If we could hit a Nova Hellkite, that would be sick. Instead, we hit another land. Alright. This hand has looked terrible, and there's an argument that we should have mulled to 5. Okay. What you doing now? Cursed Recording. Cursed Recording's good. Alright. We're going to go ahead and just play this out. Deal our opponent 4 damage. And it's like now they have to deal with this. They can Cursed Recording and just ensure a lot of things go right for them here. We're just going to play this Razorkin Needlehead. They're probably going to do something here. Alright. Next spell gets doubled. It's Fire Magic for 2. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Neat. Glad that worked out. Opponent plays a land. And just stocking up again. Oh no, Beza. Yeah, Beza's real nice. Gain a bunch of life. Let's warp this. God, we're not putting any pressure on this opponent. This is like no pressure at all. Okay. If you go no more lies, I will scoop to that. Yep. Alright. There was no pressure in that hand. We didn't do anything. Goodness. That was not going anywhere. Okay. So it's about what we expected. The hand was a little too slow. So sideboarding, bring that out, and bring out the dog moms. And we're just going to bring in these lizards. And vengeful possession is definitely coming out. Take that out. And just run it. There's definitely some artifact hate that needs to be in here somewhere, so maybe the new lesson that either blows up a land or blows up an artifact would be good. I mean, 2 lands, but we've got a bunch of 1 mana spells. We've got a Sunspine Lynx at the top. There's like 0 chance of running more than 2 Torch the Towers in their entire deck. Elegant Parlor, putting something to the bottom. We're just going to go ahead and pump this up. And attack for 2. And they pass. Opponent plays Hired Claw. We're just going, or we play Hired Claw. Now, could we have made the Hired Claw attack? Probably. Okay, well, let's just do this. Because I have a feeling they have some type of removal spell for this. Yeah. There's a Helix. Opponent has Watery Grave. They play it untapped. Okay. So, definitely a little scary here. Alright, there's that. We go up to 4th speed. And move to attackers. I mean, we're just going to pump it. And if you kill it, you kill it. Yeah, fire magic for 1. That's solid. Okay. Well, now we have 2 Sunspine Lynxes and some burn spells. Tap land's good. Binning another land. And passing. Alright. This No More Lies is going to hit hard. Yep. Alright. There you go, opponent. They're definitely in control of this game now. We have almost assuredly lost because of that, and if they slam Beza... Oh, no slamming Beza. Alright. Well... You know what? We're going to go ahead and pass. I want to see this opponent go ahead and kick a Consult the Star Charts, which gives them a ton of advantage. Okay. No land drop. So... Burst Lightning kicked. Well, now we gotta do this for sure. You got another? You got another. Nope, not paying for that. Alright, they're about to cast something. Is it Beza? Or is it a stock up? Yeah, it's Beza. Alright, so they gain 4. I mean... They go back down. Alright, we've lost 2 of our cats. They're never going to attack with this Beza. Okay, they're going to get lost, targeting our cat. Let's hit them for 3. Alright, opponent's at 8. 2 more kicked burst lightnings do the trick. Another cat does something here. But we need a lot to go right and a lot to go wrong for our opponent. That's something going right for us. All right. Now, surely this won't live. Now, I'm going to just go ahead and do this. Yeah. Wow. Glad we saved that for our second main. That was an insanely bad like set of maps there for us. Okay. Opponent's just stocking up. Probably trying to hit a second No More Lies or a third No More Lies. Like third No More Lies, another Get Lost, both do a lot of work here for our opponent. Okay. Mage Bane Lizard is great. All right. What you gonna do, opponent? What you gonna do? Inevitable defeat? Okay. That's strong. I mean, they attack with Beza. They've got the mana for Jeskai Revelation. We have to block this Beza, which is insane. Okay. Jeskai Revelation. Cursed Recording. Another land. And they got us. GG's opponent. Alright. See you guys in match number 4. Alright. Match number 4. I get to be on the draw, and honestly, the hand's fine. Another Bleachbone Verge start for an opponent. Okay. Well, double burnout's actually kind of cool here. We get to go burnout, burst lightning, kill a thing. It's not the worst start. Alright, let's see what they're going to do on their turn. They go demo field. So this means instead of it being like black, white, small things, sacrifices, probably black, white control. And I think with that, we probably... I mean, it's just putting pressure on them at this point. So... put the pressure on. Swing for 3. They're going to kill this Ember Heart before it even gets the chance to attack. Yeah. That makes sense. And so we swing. Get the extra thing there. Alright. So Black-white control. Oh no, it's Esper. Okay. Well, again, we're just going to play this. And I think we're going to just swing and not play out this extra Bastronaut just yet. We want to see what exactly they're going to do. They've probably got another Shoot the Sheriff, which is fine. I can't imagine that they've got a main board Day of Judgment. They haven't done anything to suggest that this isn't just black-white control or Esper control. So, really just crossing our fingers here for no Wrath. Ah, there's a Flood Farm Verge. Alright. Avoid the Wrath. Avoid the Wrath. And did we fade a Wrath? Maybe. I'm kind of hopeful. Okay, we managed to fade a Wrath there. Now, let's warp the Hellkite. If they counter it, awesome. If they don't counter it, also fine. I feel like if they counter it, then we definitely just go for the Burst Lightning to the face and get in for at least 4 with our burnouts. But if they kill it and then go for like Ultima or Day of Judgment next turn, we definitely are in a much worse spot. Because then they're just going to leave us with an empty board and we're completely cooked. And with 5 cards in hand, it's definitely a bit of a problem. Okay, so they are, in fact, countering that. Alright, well, this definitely means that they don't have a 1-mana removal spell, because the only one that this Esper deck would likely play is Tragic Trajectory. They're not playing Elspeth's Smite main board. Alright, so we're getting in for 7. That's half their life currently. I can't be mad at that. Wrath goes crazy. Wrath goes real crazy right now. If they just go for Elspeth, we win. Which is dope. Alright. Probably double white. Stock up. Okay. Okay. So they are just Esper control. Interesting. I wonder why they're going for the 3rd color instead of just doing blue-white or blue-black. Unless maybe they're doing the mill thing, which would be kind of sick. Alright. Well, we're playing out this last land. Moving to attacks. Swinging. Let's bump. Let's bump. And our opponent's dead? Are you just dead, opponent? Oh. Okay. Neat. Okay, so against control. So Hazoret avoids all of their board wipes and removal and stuff. Legend of Roku is really good as a late game card. Agro's Demonstration, probably terrible. Full Bore, definitely terrible. I definitely feel like on the play, it's just these Hazorets, these Sunspine Lynxes are definitely coming in play and draw. I think just on the draw, It's probably Legend of Roku. And we can take out all the Magebane lizards on the draw because they are a little slow and they necessitate our opponent needing to have a lot more interaction. And with control, I just doubt they are. And then we'll take out a shock. And run it like that. Okay. This is the super aggressive start for our deck. 2 lands, but 3 1-drops, 2 2-drops. We'd like some extra lands across the first couple of turns, but this is, again, such a solid start. Now, if they go turn 1 Authority of the Consuls, this hand definitely looks a little foolish. Okay, so Bleachbone Verge at least means that they are not starting off with a Authority. Alright. Hired Claw. The claw is la law. Alright. There's an island, so that's still only making black right now. I mean, let's go for pressure. As cool as it would be to get our speed going, so that Dogmom might have some utility later on, we don't necessarily want to run this out into Godless Shrine, Pinnacle Starcade, or something like that. Demo Field. Okay. Play Bastronaut. I'm giving this opponent as few avenues as possible to swing and just demolish us right now. They can't shoot the Sheriff this. Alright. Hitting for 4. Taking you down for a bunch of life points. Alright. Black. Colorless. On the end step? No? Okay. Did our opponent just, like, yield until end step and miss an opportunity to kill our stuff? Alright, so board wipe hurts. If they stock up, then we just continue to put pressure on by playing this out. Okay. Definitely just playing this and this. Lightning Strike, that's 9 guaranteed. So, downside, if we had played out the Bastronaut earlier, it would have been useful. But who cares? Our opponent scoops it up. Heck yeah. Alright, see you guys in match number 5. Okay, we will be on the draw for match number 5 with a solid hand. Alright, Nova Hellkite on 3 isn't bad. Not having removal against a Llanowar Elf deck is bad, though. Alright, Burnout Bastronaut. Do some heavy lifting. Do some heavy lifting. Lumbering World Wagon. Okay. Whip. There's a very solid chance that we just get Boyded next turn and we absolutely die. There is such a strong chance we just die to Boyd on this next turn, and that's going to suck so much. Okay, Ice-Till Explorer. We're not immediately dead. Holy. Colossal Rattleworm? And another Lumbering World Wagon. There's so much going on right now, and I'm not sure how to deal with any of this. Okay. Seam Rip? Getting rid of that? Yeah. Neat. I definitely just warp this and kill your guy there. I mean, swing in. You're at 3. Huh. I mean, this is a deck that can OTK us with the Slumbering World Wagon, for sure. Alright, playing that out of the graveyard, milling over a bunch more stuff, equal to the number of lands you control, getting all your basics. 2, going Esper Origins, surveilling, doing a lot of things. Bossing, saying Badger Mole Cub, go to the yard. You're going to Esper Origins again? No, just Badger Mole. Okay. Well, you can crew the World Wagon, deal us a bunch of damage. Okay. Yeah, they're comboing. They're comboing real hard right now. Esper Origins is revealed. Alright, reveal the top card. If it's a permanent, put it into your hand. So we know that that's going to stay on top for now. Swing in for 7. Search your library for a basic land. Put it onto the battlefield. Alright, there's 6 basics. Okay. So, play these. Might form Harmonizer. Whenever a land enters double the power of target creature you control. Neat. That's really strong. Okay, we might be dead this coming turn. Alright. So, we deal a damage to him. This doesn't matter anymore. We've got this Nova Hellkite in exile, which isn't going to do anything. Alright, mill over another Badger Mole. They've still got 2. Alright, Conduit Pylons. Mill over Llanowar. Surveil. Mill another one. God, they have milled so much. Earthbend this. Another World Wagon. You got 1 card in hand. Alright, and this is going to give everything +2/+2 in trample. So this will just kill us next turn. Unless we can kill the summon Esper whatever. Yeah. Can we kill that? The answer is no, we cannot. So, we're just gonna play out all of this stuff and then die to, let's see, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 2, 13, 4, trample, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they got us. They absolutely got us there. Holy. Deflecting Palm would be so hard right now for this deck to have. Alright. Let's go ahead and start sideboarding. This is a matchup where Vengeful Possession is super good. This is a matchup where this Iroh's Demonstration goes hard. Soul Guide Lanterns probably come in here to just deal with some of their graveyard stuff. And Legend of Roku's terrible. Sunspine Lynx is terrible. Magebane Lizards are terrible. Hazoret's a blocker, but it also gets eaten up by Seamrip. So Magebanes are terrible. These full bores are probably just as bad. And I mean, it's crazy, but maybe we cut these Needleheads too, because they're not doing anything. They get easily blocked by everything. they're not drawing cards like crazy. I mean, there's a lot of logic there. But these Soul Guide Lanterns also don't necessarily do a whole lot. They are super slow. They're not really playing from their graveyard besides the lands, and that's not the axis that we're trying to really attack on. Alright, bring the Full Bores back and bring in... You know what? We'll bring in this Legend of Roku. Maybe there's something to us just getting a bunch of cards off the top of our deck and having a 4/4 on the back. But let's run it like that. Alright, game number 2. On the play. I mean... Hired Claw, Hazoret, solid 1-2 punch. This doesn't get turned on for a little bit, but I think that's actually kind of fine. Now, the problem is, if they go Elf on one, we probably want to kill it. But they go for Fabled Passage, which is not even a big concern for us. Vengeful Possession is so good. Alright. Declare attackers. Swing in. Deal 2. And... Cool. They're going to fetch. Get a thing. Pass. They play Hushwood. They play Esper Origins. Not the greatest, but that's fine. Now, this opponent definitely wouldn't run Pinnacle Star Cage. They definitely wouldn't run Pinnacle Star Cage. Conduit Pylons to the graveyard. Okay. See, now I'm just worried about what they could have, but I don't think we can play in any amount of fear. Alright. Alright, and pump it up so it's a 2/3. Alright, next turn it's Rockface Village and something. And honestly, we could just Lightning Strike so we can guarantee get in with this Hazoret too. I don't hate that. Okay, just Lumbering World Wagon. I'm not worried about that. Okay, so... absolutely just going face. And turning this other Hired Claw into a 2/3. And then swinging in for a bunch. Math is for the blockers. Alright, and opponent scooped it up. Let's go. It's a pretty secure turn 5 win. Alright, so do we want to change anything here with our boarding plan? There's maybe some logic to cutting Legend of Roku, but there's nothing that really seems better. Again, a Braid or Price of... it's not Price of Progress, but it's Price of something. It's a lesson, it's an uncommon, it's 2 mana. Lets us draw a card. It's probably a good card to be running in here. You know what? I almost like it, but 5 lands is a lot. Okay, this is better. I want to cut this or drop this Nova Hellkite here, but I think it's probably better for us to... it's probably better for us to drop a Burst Lightning. If we kill a creature on 1, that's fine. Alright, opponent mulled to 6. They go tap land. Tap land on 1 is really good. And bottom 1 to get another. Love it. Alright. Badger Mole. Gonna go ahead and animate the Restless Prairie because whenever this land attacks, other creatures you control get +1/+1. You don't go for that. That's arguably wrong. Alright, well, whatever. Killing that. Alright, we could have played Dog Mom there, but Dog Mom has to stay because Badger Mole just has to die. It's a kill on sight creature. Conduit Pylons. When this land surveils or enters Surveil 1, not doing anything. Neat. Let's go ahead and play Dog Mom then. Alright. We're putting ourselves in a good position. Alright, we're going to upkeep, kill this forest, because it stops them from going Ouroboros on their turn. And Ouroboros does cause some problems for us. And I like to imagine that that's what they wanted to do there. So, warp this in. Dog Mom is not going to be active next turn, sadly. But it's the best that we can do. And the fact that we do get to go Nova Hellkite next turn is going to be fine. So, opponent has 4 mana that they can use. 5 mana that they can use. Okay, Ice-Till Explorer. Not the Nova Hellkite, but it did stop them for a turn. Conduit Pylons getting Bossing Say milled. They're probably going to play this Bossing Say. Oh, you Sheltered by Ghosts? Sheltered by Ghost, and you take our Hazoret? That's really good. Okay. So, we're going to go ahead and just do this. Yeah, you get your ward. I mean, yeah, no response. No. So, I'll do this just so that I can guarantee get to max speed so Dog Mom can do whatever she wants. This Nova Hellkite has the potential to block an Ice-Till Explorer, and maybe there's some logic to us just attacking and everything, but we want to hold them back just a little. Okay. There's Bossing Say out of the yard, Mill of Plains. And then there's the Plains, Mill of Hushwood. And do you have the Boyd? No, it's not a Boyd. Okay. It's not a Boyd, it's not another Hushwood. What are you playing? Oh, you're just going to animate this Restless Prairie and swing. Okay. Which they could just Bossing Say it up and just let themselves get another mill here. Or maybe they're just rethinking and they're going to go ahead and Ice-Till or Boyd it up. Who knows? Opponent's doing a lot of things. They've got a pretty commanding lead at this point. Yeah, Bossing Say up that. Nope. Wrong land, opponent. Okay. I mean, we absolutely just cast you? mean, we swing 8. You go up to an amount. Do you have the ability to move one of our creatures? Like, right now we're winning the race. We're absolutely winning the race. Okay. This is mildly terrifying. Oh. 6, 9, 11. Ugh. Ugh. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh, that's so brutal. That's so brutal. All right, I think we lose. I definitely think we lose at this point. Can our opponent see the line? I'd like to imagine that they can. Okay, they earthbend it instead of just activating it, so 16 instead of, yeah. And we hit a land. GG's opponent. So close, and yet so far. Alright, 2-3. So what can we say about the deck? It's mono red. We were pretty close in almost all of our games. It really just depended on draws being in our favor and our opponents maybe not hitting some of the things that they did. Standard is really wide open. And most of the time when the field is this wide open, it's hard to justify playing mono red, but most of the time you can kind of predict that you're going to see a lot of lessons. The fact that we saw 0 lessons and 0 reanimator is a little wild. But this is a good deck. So maybe give it a try. Maybe give it some love. There's definitely some things that can be tooled to your liking, to your meta, as is always the case with mono red. These full bores never really saw the use that they should have. If Monstrous Rage was still around, the format would be a lot more warped, and forgive the pun there, but it would be so much better. But hey, that's everything. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.